And we're live. Man, I would love a countdown. StreamYard, if you're hearing me. All right, next time. So sorry. Welcome to West New York Brews. My name is Scott. I'm a home brewer just outside of Buffalo, New York. Apparently, I didn't realize I was doing it, but I say that all the time. And now it's become a thing where actually Damien, when we saw him at collaboration, I think he was the one who said it, like, "Oh yeah, you're Scott." No, it was Jason uh, from Buffalo Brews. Don't you know him? He's Scott, a home brewer just outside of Buffalo, New York. And so yeah, I'm Scott. I'm a home brewer just outside of Buffalo, New York. And on this
It's
episode,
it's
talking about
collectively become part of the intro to the podcast.
right? Just I used to say just south of Buffalo, I think, which is true. And with me is Brian. Brian from the Buffalo Beer League. You got to put that in your little thing there on YouTube, because if you're not watching on YouTube, you should watch on YouTube.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Or on Twitter. And you can find these videos on YouTube afterwards. You just go to youtube.com/WNY Brews. You can watch it anytime on the Friday of the weekend, right? The Friday on Fridays is what I meant to say. So we're going to talk about what's happening in the Buffalo beer scene March 30th, 31st, and April Fool's Day. So let's talk about that in just a moment. All right. So once again, we're live on YouTube and Twitter right now. You can find those afterwards. But we're going to talk about what's happening this weekend in Buffalo Beer. Before we do, I want to let you know that we're a member of the Hopped Up Network, which is a podcast network of regional independent beer podcasts. You can find out more at hoppedupnetwork.com. I want to let you know what we got going on right now with a incentive, if you will, for leaving a review for the podcast. If you would leave a review for our podcast on whatever podcast catcher you use, if you use Apple or Spotify or so on. I think Google doesn't actually let you review. But if you do, leave us a review and you send a screenshot of it to me on Twitter. So it's at WNY Brews. We will connect and I'll make sure you get a t-shirt. I can actually bring up a picture of that t-shirt too. Maybe I'll do that for people who are watching. It is a Raglan style shirt that says Buffalo Beer League. No, it says Enjoy Buffalo Beer on the front. It says Buffalo Beer League on the back. And it has a list of breweries that were around when this t-shirt was made. And it's got a bunch of breweries, just not everybody. Right? Brian, you have one, right?
I do have one of these, yes.
So yeah, you've seen it. And we only have larges and extra larges left. But if you want one of those, leave us a review, send us a screenshot at WNY Brews. And if you are on the YouTube, or if you go to find this on YouTube, I'm about to put it up. That's what's about to happen. So you can see the shirt. Can you see it? Can I see it? Yep, there it is. So there's the shirt. And that can be yours. All you got to do is leave us a review. I'm going to read a review that we got, and I will absolutely be sending out a shirt to Damien M.
Well, this is very exciting.
Right? I assume it was a 5-star review. It might. Oh, I left it right up here.
We can only hope. As you said last week, Scott, you said earlier this week, we provide 7-star content.
7-star content. Yes, yeah. See, every once in a while I say something cool. Not most of the time.
Even though you're the host of this podcast, you never say anything cool.
For 2015 to now, literally 8 years. The first episode was March 28th, 2015. Happy 8th year of this podcast.
Yeah. Happy anniversary.
This is episode 103. You would think there'd be more after 8 years, but here we are.
Hey, we're trying to bump those numbers up.
That's right. So Damien wrote, "It's my go-to beer podcast for Buffalo beer information." It says, "I've been listening for a couple of years when Scott was just doing the podcast, but bringing Brian on has made the podcast that much more informative on what's been going on in the Buffalo beer scene and how to plan my weekend," which is 100% true. So thank you, Damien, for that. And like I said, we'll make sure that we meet up to get you the shirt.
I appreciate that, Damien. Thank you. And it's like it might sound weird, but I do take that into consideration when I write this article every week. That it's like, I hope people look at this and then plan their weekend accordingly if they want to go out and grab a beer.
Yeah, for sure, right? The article that Brian is talking about is, of course, the Buffalo Beer Buzz, which you can find on stepoutbuffalo.com and on buffalobeerleague.com. And this week, I actually just had it up, but now I closed it.
You know, I probably should have mentioned that. Instead of saying this article, I probably should have mentioned the name of the article.
No, right? That's why we're bouncing off of each other. I like it.
That is a good point.
So I'm going to open up a beer. I am drinking another Caucasian Gary. There it is, from Resurgence, and it's unlabeled. Because
we don't need labels.
When you have an in, I guess, right? Fellow Buffalo Beer Leaguer Scott McMillan.
Literally buying them by the case. We don't need labels.
Nice.
If I would have known, Scott, I would have put some in the fridge. I would have had one with you.
Oh, that's a good idea. And is it next week that we are planning on drinking my Hayburner?
Yes.
Knock on wood. All right, I'll make sure to get you one.
I appreciate that.
So what are you drinking?
So speaking of Resurgence, I am drinking a Raptor King.
Raptor King. Explain it. What is it?
So this is their debut can in the lovely 19 or debut in their 19.2 ounce can. Stovepipe can, if you want to get technical. It's a hazy imperial IPA. It's big and resinous, overripe tropical fruit, mostly pineapple, but very smooth. It's 9% too.
Oh, nice. 9%. Yeah, this another Caucasian Gary is wonderful and only 6%. So
I was going to say if I remember correctly, it's right around 6.
We'll see who finishes this podcast. It's not always me, that's for sure. There's times you got to carry us into the garage.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the beer buzz this week. I don't know what of these articles, what of these stories, are you most excited about?
Ooh, most excited about? Wow, you've never asked me that before.
Right, I'm trying to spice it up here.
Well, I mean, I like the Western New York breweries winning at the New York State Craft Beer Competition, but
absolutely.
I mean, we don't really need to delve into that too much because we did do a separate podcast on that.
Tuesday. You can find that on the podcast feed wherever you find the West New York Brews podcast. We talked about it.
But I have that listed here. I had to mention it, or I had to write about it this week.
Good. Do you want to go through very quickly the medals again?
Yeah, I can run through them super quick. So the New York State Craft Beer Competition is held every year as part of the Craft Beer Conference. This one was held last Friday, as a matter of fact. 6 local breweries won 9 medals, 4 golds. Pearl Street won gold for Saber's Edge Double IPA in the American Double IPA category. Big Ditch won gold in the barrel-aged non-sour category for their Double Barrel Aqueduct Imperial Stout. They also placed second in the state behind Genesee Brewery, their Hellas, for best beer in the state. So they finished second in best beer of the state. Community Beer Works, their first of 2 medals. They won gold for in Belgian Farmhouse for their Thirst Aid Kit, which is not released yet. Awesome. I was told. So that'll be out soon. Steelbound won gold for By the Berries Blueberry Wheat in the fruit and vegetable non-sour category, a favorite category of yours, Scott, as you mentioned on the podcast.
Yeah.
New York Beer Project won 3 medals, and West Shore won bronze. Oh, excuse me. New York Beer Project, they won silver for bronze for Yellowstone Wild Ale and Lockport Lager. And they won silver for, I don't have that listed here.
Yeah.
Hold on. My apologies, everybody.
You would think I would remember. I don't.
We literally just talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
bronze. Again, that was an episode you brought into the garage.
Wild and sour ales for Yellowstone Wild Ale. Silver in the light lager traditional category for Lockport Lager. And they also won bronze for the one version 43, the Island Edition, in the fruit and vegetable non-sour category. And rounding that out, West Shore Brewing won bronze for their winter warmer in the strong ales non-Belgian category. Excellent. So I know that was a mouthful.
That was a lot. And if you want to hear more about them, on Tuesday we released that episode. So go back and listen to the previous episode.
Yeah, we did it. We did a quick half hour on it, and it's a quick, concise podcast and everything you need to know.
Excellent. So Sunday. That's the 1st, right? That's April 1st?
That is no Saturday is April 1st.
Saturday. Yes, Saturday. I got to tell you, as an elementary school teacher, I love it when April Fool's Day lands on a weekend
That makes
because
sense.
it is so annoying during the day. The
I
kids,
remember
ooh,
being in grade school. We used to always try to pull little
mhm.
pranks, and we always thought they were funny. But in
Oh yeah,
reality, they probably weren't.
they're cute, right? The kids are being cute, but every single thing that comes out of their mouth for April Fool's Day is a lie.
Ah,
Every single thing. They all want to come into my room and tell me, guess what, Mr. Panfill? I'm going to Disney next week. And I'll be like, oh, cool. And they'll be like, April Fools. And they, oh, okay. Guess what? We got a new dog. Great. April Fools. Like, okay, let's please start class now. It's time. So Saturday is going to be awesome. Can't wait.
I
But
love the
Saturday, sorry,
I
go ahead.
love the idea of actual human beings calling you Mr. Panfill. I don't know
Yeah.
what that. I just love that.
Yeah. And again, their idea of pranks is just lying to me for a couple of seconds. Sorry, drink. So
Oh yeah,
grand opening, Tap That Tap Room, out in Tonawanda, New York. I've heard of that place, Tonawanda. But let me read a little bit here first.
please
Buffalo's
do.
first woman-owned self-pour tap room. Is it women or woman? Woman-owned, featuring 30
It would
different
be
taps.
woman owned.
That is awesome. I was reading about this, and it's has a self-pour system, right? Is that all 30 taps?
Yes.
That's awesome. Right. I think that's probably going to be more of what's going to happen. Because why wouldn't people love it? They can pour themselves 3 ounces or 2 ounces of something and try a bunch of stuff. Like it's your own little mini beer festival at Tap That Tap Room.
Yeah,
That Go
the
ahead.
first time I ever went to a self pour tap room, I was in Richmond, Virginia, and it was at an arcade, and that was attached to a self pour tap room, and I had no idea what it was.
Mm.
And then I walked in, and I'm like, oh wait, I'm like, they have 30 beers on I've never had before. Oh wait, I can have 1 ounce of this beer, and then 1 ounce of this beer. It's a cool concept.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you going to try to get out there on the first on Saturday?
I won't be able to make it then, but I do want to try to make it out there.
Yeah, me too. I won't be able to make it Saturday as well.
Yeah.
Tap That Tap Room. That is on Delaware. 363 Delaware, Tonawanda, New York. It says they're going to have 30 self-serve taps of beer, wine, cider, and seltzer. Ooh, wine taps? Maybe. Right?
I like that idea.
Yeah. You could, I guess we have a box of wine downstairs that has a little tap on it, right? It's probably not the same thing.
Stay classy, Scott.
Yep, you know it. So space to seat 60 people and 15 tables and additional space at a bar. Oh, cool. Plans also call for a dog-friendly patio out front. Super cool. So check that out, Delaware Street, Tonawanda.
And more locally owned establishments pouring local beer, ciders, and seltzers. The more the merrier.
For sure.
So real quick, Scott, something just popped into my head while we were just talking there.
Go for
What
it.
is more classy, a box wine
Uh-huh.
or the giant jugs of like the Carlo Rossi wine? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, no, I know
You know the
exactly
ones
what
I'm
you're
talking
talking
about,
about.
right?
Yep. I think oh man, I think a boxed wine is classier.
I think you're right.
Yeah. I think it comes down to price too. Just
Well, true.
if I could, because I make wine at the house, if I could keg wine, I would, because that would be amazing to have a keg of wine. The problem is it carbonates if you put it in a keg.
Yeah.
So when people keg it, which happens so rarely, they say they put it in a bag, and the CO2 stays on the outside of the bag and compresses the bag.
Interesting.
I know, right? It's but yeah. So instead we just bottle it, but I hate bottling in all of its forms. So maybe I should just save some boxes and fill up my own
There you go.
boxed wine because we're
Make your
super
own Panfill
fancy
box
here.
wine. I like that idea.
Yep. All right, jumping to I think we talked about the free buys and tickets that Consumers Beverage is offering, right?
Actually, that was something different. But in this article, I had mentioned you're referring to the Southern Tier craft beer pack ticket
Oh,
pack.
yeah.
Um, which I do have. I did mention that here,
Mhm.
just so people are aware of it. But this weekend or next Tuesday is the Bison's home opener.
Mhm.
And this weekend, if you go to any one of Consumers 18 Consumer Beverages 18 locations, if you spend $10 or more, which I mean, no matter what you buy, you're going to spend $10. You get a free
Oh,
pair
yeah.
of tickets to the home opener
Wait, when? This weekend.
this weekend.
Okay, because
Or
I was at
or air
Consumers
quotes
2 hours ago.
while supplies last.
Okay. I was at Consumers 2 hours ago, and I definitely spent more than $10.
Dude.
But I guess it's only Thursday, right? So
Oh, I did
my
not think
bad.
about that.
My bad. All right, quick tangent before we jump to the next one.
Hit me.
Consumers Beverages. You said 18 locations.
Yes.
Which one do you think is the nicest?
Ooh, huh. Okay, now cards on the table. I have not been to them all.
Yeah, me neither.
The one on Clinton Street is the one on Clinton is really nice.
Yeah, that's probably what I was going to go with too. Being a Southtowns person, I haven't hit most of the Northtowns ones.
Yeah. I like the one in the Village of Orchard Park is really nice.
You know, I like that one too.
Just because it's bigger and the selection is better.
And they have home brewing stuff.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. And consumers, if you listen to this, which I can't imagine you do, but consumers, if you listen to this, you are never allowed to get rid of that home brewing stuff. It's the only place in the Southtowns. That's not true anymore. I can go to Derby. But it's hard. Derby, the Ace Value in Derby has a really small selection.
Wow, I did not know that.
But yeah, it's the only place in the Southtowns. If I need yeast, like if I'm brewing and I ran out of something, or I go to open up a yeast packet and I accidentally spill it all over myself, which who would do that? But sometimes it happens, right? You need to go to Consumers. Like, I got to go to Consumers. I got to get me some 05.
So, Scott, you said that in jest, obviously, about consumers listening, right? So, I write articles for the Buffalo News.
Yes, sir.
I wrote an article. I think it was last winter. I wrote an article about all of the local Advent beer boxes you could get.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned Consumers in the article. The owner of Consumers saw the article and emailed me about it.
Nice.
And he complimented me on the article. So you never know.
That's right. Right? Who knows? Maybe they're diligent listeners. It's a terrible word, but I'm not opening my thesaurus right now. So yeah, go to Consumers this weekend. Or it says soon is what it says.
Because, I didn't know exactly how to quantify it, but I'm pretty sure it's this weekend.
The opener is the 4th, so it can't be that late, right?
Yeah, the opener is Tuesday against Worcester at 2:05.
Nice.
If you wanted to get that down to brass tacks.
And I went tonight and didn't get any free tickets, so somewhere between now
we might have to talk semantics. I don't know.
Go to Consumers. All right, so some beer releases. We got some beer releases this week. Let's start with 12 Gates, and then we'll go to Southern Tier.
Sounds good.
Yep. So Monsters and Myths IPA, which will consist of 6 new hazy IPAs, which when it's done, because this has already started, right?
Yeah, this is the second entry.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Continues March 31st. I see it. A 7.1% hazy IPA. I was going to make a joke about because what we really need is more hazy IPAs, but you know what? I love hazy IPAs. So, yeah.
I know. We say it all the time. It's like we always tell ourselves we're going to drink less and less hazy IPAs, but we always find ourselves drinking hazy IPAs.
Yeah, right? You just drink what you like. And I like hazy IPAs.
Fair point.
Among other things, right?
Yeah, right.
I'm loving this another Caucasian Gary. In fact, I might have another Caucasian Gary.
It is for the style. Like, I mean, I don't know if you had mentioned earlier that it's a blonde stout, like a white stout.
You can see
I don't
that
have
on,
much
on
familiarity
YouTube.
with that style, but it is so drinkable.
Yeah. Yeah, something about a blonde stout. I have such a hard time with that. Like, why is it a stout?
Yeah, it's
BJCP people, hit me up.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
Right? Because color is definitely part of a stout. Right? All right. I'm going off on a tangent now, but I'll come back. So this Monsters and Myths IPA has Azacca, Citra, Mosaic, and Simcoe, which are some of my favorite hops. I think I've told you my Simcoe story before. I'll tell you real quick again. My homebrew club, we did a single hop competition. Everybody made a single hopped beer, and I pulled Simcoe. And Simcoe, some people like Simcoe, some people don't.
Yeah.
And people voted. They each got a ticket when they walked in, and they put their ticket in the jug in front of whichever beer they liked the most, and whoever had the most tickets won at the end of the night. Well, my jug got 0. It was
Oh,
not a bad beer. I liked it. But yeah, I had Simcoe and I got 0. So I'm not sure if that was a referendum on Simcoe or my beer was also right next to the dump bucket, which was
oh
the
boy.
same thing as it was another pitcher
Yeah.
right next to my pitcher. And I wonder how many people drank the dump pitcher
Oh,
for my
you
Simcoe.
you would hope that people would
Curious.
know better than that.
You would hope so, but we all had smash beers. So they
Well,
were all the same, really light color. So who knows?
oof,
Who knows?
man.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Siren from 12 Gates will be available on draft and in 16-ounce 4-pack cans to go. 7.1%. Do you know? March 31st, it says. So
Yes.
Friday. Are they actually
Yes,
doing a
tomorrow.
tapping? Do you know that?
What's that?
Are they doing like a tapping in a
Yeah,
beer release or just?
yeah. This will be on draft too.
Okay, cool. Oh, it said that. I said that. I read it out loud. There's my reading comprehension.
It's all right.
So Southern Tier, which I have said, if you're looking for a kind of a dessert beer, Southern Tier might be the place to go. Hazelnut Deluxe Imperial Stout, 10.2%. Man, I don't know what to say.
So like you said, I mean, if you Southern Tier does dessert style beers well, especially their Blackwater series. Is there are some of my favorite beers. They're a lot bigger, obviously. This Hazelnut Deluxe being the latest. I do have a gripe. So Southern Tier invited me to their industry night, which last week, maybe the week before. So it was kind of they invited a bunch of people into the brewery and they rolled out a bunch of new products. And you wrote, posted about them on social medias, yada yada yada.
Yep.
I learned about this the day after that industry night, and I was kind of bummed that I didn't get to have this.
That was a long time ago.
I mean, I mean, not that I needed on a Monday night. I didn't need a 10.2% Imperial Stout, but
Right? Yeah, of course. But that was a full year ago, wasn't it?
that
The industry night.
night.
Yeah.
No, they just had one last week.
Ah, okay. Oh, I wasn't invited to that one.
Oh, I didn't mean to. I mean,
Oh, I was thinking of Alicaville. Sorry, continue.
So Hazelnut Deluxe, 10.2%, as I mentioned, rich, creamy, nutty, chocolate, and roasted malts. I mean, as long as the hazelnut note is there, I think I'll be on board with this one. And I will be buying this when I find it.
Excellent. Yeah, this sounds like fun. It sounds like a fun time.
4-pack 12-ounce bottles and on draft at the brewery in Lakewood or Buffalo or probably any of their other tap rooms around the country.
Yeah,
and
right.
Wherever great craft beer is sold, whenever this gets released. I'm not exactly sure of a definitive date.
All right. What do you think has been said more on here? I'm a home brewer just outside of Buffalo, New York, or wherever craft beer is sold.
See, now I'm very cognizant of putting that in my articles when I write the Beer Buzz every week. I make sure I try to be consistent in saying that because it's like wherever beer is sold, your favorite craft beer retailer, wherever you buy your beer. I always try to say the same thing. So I'm very cognizant of that. I put that in the article.
I feel the same way whenever I talk about reviews, like on your favorite podcast catcher or your favorite podcast app, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Yeah, I just put a post up on our social media channels before this, and I was talking about recording this podcast, and I think I said wherever you consume your podcasts.
Oh, nice. Wherever you consume. I like it.
I personally listen. Sometimes when I listen to us, I'll listen on our website on buffalobeerleague.com.
Oh, nice.
But mostly I listen on Spotify.
Oh, okay. Yep. We are on Spotify. You can find us on Spotify.
But I'm open to suggestions.
I'm going to look look up
If I'm
where
listening in the
what
wrong,
people are
if I'm
listening.
listening to my podcast in the wrong venue, please tell me.
No, it doesn't matter to us, right? As long as you're listening
Yes.
and writing reviews. And
Yes,
then
please
sharing
do.
screenshots of those reviews at W1 Brews on Twitter. Okay. So, Hofbrauhaus. I like how you have the April 6th one here. Is
Yeah,
that on
I
purpose
did
this
that
time?
for you. I did that
All
for you,
right.
Scott.
All right. What do you know what they're tapping tonight?
No.
Okay, see me neither. So Hofbrauhaus is tapping a new Royal Export Golden Lager. Fun. As you said, as only they know how with the traditional parade, barrel tapping, and live music. And the cast of Drunk Theater Buffalo will lead the parade, which, you know what? We need to have some drunk theater people on the podcast.
See, now I love this idea. My wife Jill and I we've been trying. Right now they're doing Drunk Peter Pan at
Yep.
Buffalo River Works.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to get to one of these performances because I hear the performance is awesome. But I want to get down there and try this. But the last time we went to try to buy tickets, it sold out. I mean, which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it for those guys. But I love this idea. And you're right, we should have these guys on the podcast.
We should. It's the perfect for this podcast.
I think that is such a great idea.
The Peter Pan in Drunk Peter Pan is a former student of mine.
That's awesome.
I know, and I keep looking to get out to this, and I can't. It just doesn't work out with the kids.
Exactly the same for us.
Yeah, because it looks so fun.
It does,
and he's great. But this is next week, Thursday.
Yes.
So you could go to this tapping, 6 p.m. Make sure you get home and join us on YouTube to watch the next. Oh, I'll be in Myrtle Beach. I'll be doing this from my phone.
Oh.
At 9 p.m. next week. I really want to make that happen.
Well, as long as we're not going to annoy your family, I don't want to make your wife mad.
I don't know. That's true. I don't want to make my wife mad either. So we'll find out. I just got message just now. I don't know if you can hear my computer sounds. It just bidding from John over at Buffalo Brewing to set up another podcast.
Oh,
so
nice.
He said, any interest in setting up another podcast? And I'm going to say absolutely.
Yes, that's 100% yes.
So we're recording right now. I'll get back to you.
So it looks like real quick, I just looked it up. Their next two performances are sold out, April 4th and April 11th. There are limited tickets for April 25th.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, check my calendar. What day of the week is that?
Coming right up. It is a Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesdays are perfect for me.
You know, we should try to do this.
Yeah. Bring microphones and talk to them there.
I love that idea. While we're all drinking, which is just an added effect.
After they've gotten drunk, I'm going to open up
ambush them guerrilla style.
Second, no, yeah, good idea. Just shove a microphone in their face. Yeah. They're gonna love that. All right, I'm pouring another Caucasian Gary.
Good man.
We only have one or two more things to talk about.
Yeah, we only have so real quick, let me finish about Royal Export. This is the first time they're brewing this. This is the first time that it's gonna be at our Hofbrauhaus Buffalo. So it's if you don't know, it is a golden lager with fruitier hoppy notes, hop notes, and a light bitterness. So I mean, you don't say no to another lager.
Yeah, right. I feel like no. That's not true. I was going to say something, and then I realized that the people I talk to, I don't talk to the general beer drinking public. I talk to craft beer people.
They are not one and the same.
I know. I was going to say, I feel like people are coming around to lagers again, but craft beer people are coming around back to lagers. But I don't know. Well, the general public, did they ever leave lagers? I don't know.
Well, it depends. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, but
yeah, right.
As long as the craft beer drinker is the craft beer drinkers are coming more and more to the lighter side. I mean, no offense against darker beers or heavier beers, but I appreciate lagers.
So I have a friend who is undoubtedly a beer drinker, right? fun to hang out with at campsites because we both bring beers.
Okay.
And he will always bring IPAs. I tend to bring IPAs too. I tend to bring overpacks when I'm camping just because
Oh,
you can't
nice.
beat the value. And it gives you choices throughout the day. Right?
Right.
So, yeah, he typically will bring IPAs. He's not really into lagers as much, but he's definitely a craft beer person. Does that sound right? Would you
You know,
consider somebody who buys like all day IPA, overpacks, and Vermont? What's the Vermont Brewing Company?
what is it?
You know
Long Trail?
exactly who I'm. Yes, Long Trail. Who brings Long Trail IPAs? That's a craft beer person, right?
Yeah, but you know, it's you don't often meet a craft beer drinker who like likes IPAs but doesn't like lagers. Usually, it's the other way around.
But if I said to him, "Hey, I'm gonna grab this 15 pack of some Czech Pilsners," I think he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm good. I've got my
Interesting.
my bonus stage or my victory." Victory's 15 pack IPA. I can't remember what they're doing now, but you get what I'm saying.
What do they do?
It's
The
a
Prima
craft beer
Pills?
drinker. No. Victory's 15 pack of IPA.
Mm. I could not tell you.
Yep, right. I know.
I'm not that up on my Victory beers.
Oh, there's the Kickback. That's not what I was looking at.
Is that
though.
new? I've never heard of that.
No. The Kickback has been around for a bunch.
Oh,
It's
okay.
got Golden Monkey and
Of course.
oh yeah. It's got Brotherly Love, Golden Monkey, Sour Monkey, Cloud Walker, and Easy Ringer. Easy Ringer is the one I think I'm thinking of. Their session.
Oh, I have not had that.
But yeah, craft drinker. But not someone who would be thrilled to get a Czech Pilsner in a side pull in a milk pour, for example.
Man, I'm speaking my language.
I know, right? But yeah, craft beer drinker for sure.
Yeah, yeah. No, you
definitions. Yes. We need to have a whole podcast about definitions.
Like you said, if he's buying Founders, he's buying Southern Tier, he's buying Long Trail, he could just as easily be buying Macro. So I'll take it.
Yeah, right. Craft beer drinker. Forget the point I was making on that. It's all right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back and watch this on YouTube at youtube.com/WNY Brews. But let's go into Spring Fever in Pennsylvania comes to the Beer Keep. Also Saturday, April 1st.
Yes.
So the Beer Keep, a wonderful place to go drink some beers, starting at 11:30 a.m., which, Saturday morning, 11:30 a.m. is not too early for beer.
You know the saying, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
My craft beer drinking friend I was just talking about, he loves that saying. Every time.
Cheers to that guy.
Right? Every time we're camping and we're like, is it too early? He goes, you can't drink all day unless you start early.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So including Human Robot, Voodoo Brewing, Imprint, Dancing Gnome, 2SP, one I've never heard of, by the way, 2SP, Evergreen Brewing, Anti-Fragile Brewing, never heard of that one either. Forest and Maine, Kingview. Okay, you started with the ones I would recognize, and then you went to ones that I have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, there are a few in the middle there that I didn't recognize either.
Okay. Oh, and you got a link to the whole list, so you have to go to BuffaloBeerLeague.com and check out the Buffalo Beer Buzz, so you can click on that link to bring you to the entire tap list here.
Yeah, they released on the event page on Facebook, they released the entire tap list and all of the package beer they'll have too. And obviously I didn't have the space for it, so I just linked to it.
Nice. Your thoughts on Pennsylvania on a whole? Do you have thoughts on Pennsylvania?
I
have random thoughts.
Yeah, in terms of Pennsylvania craft beer,
come on, alienate an entire state right now. Do it.
We go down to Erie pretty often.
Yeah, us too.
Either my wife and I or my friends and I, we go down there. We have a lot of friends down there. Lavery, I love. Erie Ale Works. Shout out to Jeff and Sean. Those guys are buddies of ours.
Yeah.
Lavery and Voodoo are musts. If you're ever in Erie, Voodoo has great food, and
Yeah.
Lavery makes tremendous lagers. But yeah, I like Pennsylvania beer on the whole. I mean, obviously, you think about like Monk Cafe in Pennsylvania, Tired Hands, just some of those guys in Pennsylvania that make world renowned beer. Like
Yeah.
Tired Hands, I waited in line for their beer at Shelton Festival a couple years ago when it was here at the Central Terminal. So I enjoy their beer.
Right,
I like
Trogs.
Pennsylvania beer for the most part. Let's put it that way.
Yep. I was just saying Trogs is
Yeah.
Pennsylvania beer.
Yes. I heard like
Yingling is Pennsylvania, isn't it?
Yeah, Trogs is Pennsylvania.
No, I meant I
Two of
said
my
Yingling.
two friends of mine, that's their favorite brewery.
Yeah. Some great stuff. Am I wrong about Yingling? Isn't it Yingling in Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, before
yeah.
Yingling got distributed up here, we used to drive to Pittsburgh to buy it.
Oh. See, and now you know better.
Well, what are you gonna do?
I know. I'm just
we used to
before
it got distributed here.
Don't mind Yingling. I don't drink Yingling anymore for other reasons.
Oh.
I know. But yeah, I did not mind Yingling. Excuse me. My random thoughts about Pennsylvania, it's really tough to drive through.
Oh, it's brutal. It's not tough is putting it lightly.
Lots of hills,
yes.
Lots of roads that follow rivers and railroad tracks, and can't go anywhere straight.
Even like even if you take like the turnpike,
yep,
man, that's brutal too. And then you think you're gonna I'm gonna avoid the turnpike and I'm just gonna take the back roads, man. Yeah. Hills, mountains.
Right, we drove our camper through there last year, going down south, and we avoided West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. We avoided all of the John Denver.
I was going to say, were you singing that John Denver song for a second there?
We avoided all the John Denver places on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Because we had a camper behind us, and we didn't want to have to pull a 6,000-pound camper.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine
up these kind of hills. So we went the long way. But yeah, Pennsylvania sucked. Going through Pennsylvania was just as bad.
Anybody who has ever driven through Pennsylvania, it is literally the state that never ends.
Yeah, and it was so windy and and hilly. Our truck hated Pennsylvania.
My sister-in-law used to live right outside Richmond in Virginia. And and it's about a 6.5 hour drive to where she used to live, and I don't know, like 4 hours of it was Pennsylvania, if not more.
Yeah. Yep. When we go to Ohio, we go to Ohio fairly frequently. It's nice because we only hit that small little portion of Pennsylvania that touches Lake Erie. Like they're just doing their best. Like, oh, we get to touch Lake Erie too, right here.
So they can stake their claim, yeah.
We only have to pass through that part, and it's only like an hour in Pennsylvania. It's fun. I think I mentioned this before, too. You leave Erie County, New York. You drive through Erie County, Pennsylvania, and then you get to Erie County, Ohio.
Wow, that's weird.
I know. Well, it's all on Lake Erie because we go to Cedar Point a couple of times a year. And Cedar Point is in Sandusky, in Erie County, Ohio.
I did not know that. Wow, that's bizarre.
You go through 3 Erie counties. It's fun. We're going to do it again, I think, in May.
Nice.
It's super cold. It's I think last year when we went, it was 40 degrees on opening weekend at Cedar Point. You could see your breath. Oh. Nothing's open. But we do it because we have kids.
We're going to Put-in Bay for a weekend in June.
Where is it?
Put-in Bay.
I don't know what that is. How do you spell that?
Put-in Bay. P-U-T-I-N-B-A-Y. Okay. It's in Ohio.
Put-in Bay. You spelled Putin.
I said Put-in Bay.
No, it is. It's a village in Ohio. It's got dashes in there. But I'm typing in P-U-T-I-N and Vladimir Putin comes up.
Oh, boy.
You're going to Put-in Bay? Put-in Bay. I've never heard of this. How have I never heard of this?
It is a notorious party spot.
Oh, nice.
You drive there. You take the ferry over. You park your car. and then you literally rent a golf cart and you drink and just drive a golf cart around the island all weekend.
I have heard of this. My parents did this.
It is incredibly fun if you've never been.
Okay.
This will
No,
be
yeah,
our third or fourth time going.
my parents absolutely did this. Yep, that description. I'm seeing photos now. Fun. When you doing that?
The end of June, I think.
And tell us your address and the exact time you're leaving. And
what I can tell you is that it's pirate weekend, and I will be wearing a pirate costume.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. We went to the Sterling Renaissance Festival on Pirate Weekend, and it was a fun day.
That's cool.
It was fun. I wore a kilt. That had nothing to do with Pirate Weekend. I wanted to wear a kilt, so I wore a kilt. By the way, you wear a kilt outside in the summertime, it is life-changing.
Really?
It is phenomenal.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You can choose to wear something underneath it, but
was going to be my next question.
Oh, it's so great.
Okay.
You instantly understand skirts and dresses. And like, man, if I could get away with wearing this during the school day, for example, I would wear a kilt every day. It's wonderful. I would wear things under a kilt if I were teaching. In fact, 2 years ago,
That's
3 years ago, when we were virtual, 2 years ago, when we were virtual, I did wear a kilt on St. Patrick's Day in my school because the kids weren't there. Right. So I wore a kilt. It was fun.
Could they actually see that you were wearing a kilt?
No, the kids couldn't see it. They would see it just like you're seeing me right now.
Right.
Right. While they were virtual. But it was St. Patrick's Day, and I teach at a school where St. Patrick's Day is a big deal. So I wore a kilt. People enjoyed it. I would not wear a kilt to school on a normal day. And the reasoning I gave the people at my school when they asked, "You going to do it again?" Like, no, because I don't trust the children. I don't. And they're like, you can wear tights underneath it. Like, I don't. No one needs to see that either.
Also true.
If I'm out at a gig and I'm doing a St. Patrick's Day gig and a drunk person lifts up my kilt, they deserve what they get. They deserve that image to be burned in their brain. But children don't deserve that. So no, I will never wear a kilt to school.
It's like the old Simpsons gag where every time with groundskeeper Willie.
Yep, I looked for that GIF the other day. I know exactly what you're talking about. And I just lied. I did actually wear a kilt with students once. Our school concert, our spring concert, fell on St. Patrick's Day. So that evening, just for the concert, I wore a kilt and a suit. Because it was on St. Patrick's Day, so I wore the suit with my kilt. But that was, with everybody there and under different circumstances. I would certainly not do it with just a kindergarten class because holy cow. Can't trust them.
Yeah, idle hands, right?
Nope. Yep. They get into absolutely everything. Just walk around my room and touch instruments and nope.
Yeah, I have many young nieces and nephews, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like herding cats. Really cute cats, and it's fun.
Yes, that is a very good way of putting it.
It's a very fun job, but it's herding cats. All right. Anything else you want to
add? Let's see. I should mention. I wanted to mention real quick. We're done with the beer buzz, but this is separate from that. We've partnered with 500 Pearl, and we're doing a giveaway for the KBC, the Kegs, Barrels, and Crafts Festival that they have coming up on April 8th. So if you go to our Instagram page at Buffalo Beer League, if you click on the pinned post, you'll see all of the details on how to enter. We're giving away 4 tickets, and all you need to do is follow, like, and share, and you're entered to win 4 tickets. So again, that's on our Instagram page at Buffalo Beer League. Click on the pinned post, and you can enter to win. That giveaway goes through next Thursday at noon.
Next Thursday at noon. That's April 6th.
Yes. And the event is on. So we'll do the drawing then. And then the event is on Saturday, April 8th.
Yeah, it's great. All right.
I also want to mention a little preemptively, but we're partnering with Clarksburg Cider. They are doing their
nice.
second annual cider festival on May 13th. So we partnered with them. We're going to give away a swag bag, and which has like a 2 4-packs of cider, a hoodie, shirts, koozies, $50 gift card to the cidery, and we're going to do that. I think that will go live at the end of April,
Okay.
if I remember correctly. So look for that on our social media soon.
So we buried this 45 minutes into the podcast.
Oh boy.
I know, right? Next week, I'm going to do better at this. I'm going to ask you something or along the same lines, like right at the beginning, so that we can make sure that, because those are important things to get out there. Those partnerships. 45 minutes in. All right. So that's it, right? I'm going to finish my beer. You good?
Yeah, I'm empty.
Nice. All right. Well, then, thank you guys for listening, especially if you made it all the way through 45 minutes.
Yeah, this was one of our longer weekly ones.
Yeah, you know, every week I listen to myself and I feel like I sound dead. So this week I said, I'm bringing it.
I don't even know what that means, but okay.
I just sound like, all right, so tell me more about this one.
Oh my God.
What's coming up? Like, nope. I want to bring the energy.
Scott,
this was not much.
Somebody who also listens to all of our podcasts, I can attest that you do not sound like that.
I'm always talking real quiet because I have kids right here.
Well, there is that.
So, yep, thought I would try out some new stuff tonight. So find us, please, at on Twitter, as long as Twitter is still a thing, because April 15th, I'm not sure about after April 15th.
You never know.
But if Twitter is still a thing, that's when they do the, if you're not a verified Twitter account, you're going to drop off of the
right.
Yeah. So we'll see. Until then, at WNY Brews and at Buff Beer League on Twitter. You know what? Instagram will probably be where I'll end up. So find the Buffalo Beer League at Buffalo Beer League on Instagram. You can find everything, the podcast, the articles at buffalobeerleague.com. What am I missing? Facebook. I mean, if you're still on Facebook, please hit us up on Facebook. I haven't put anything on West New York Brews' Facebook in like 2 years.
Wow.
It's Facebook, right?
I update our Facebook daily.
Nice. We need a virtual assistant. Or a real assistant, which would be weird in said kindergarten classes.
Sure
like, who's that? He's operating my beer social media accounts while we're singing. That's what's happening. We need a virtual assistant. But until next week, because we should be recording on April 6th, we'll see. We'll hopefully make that happen. And I'll be in Myrtle Beach.
In some form or fashion.
Right, for sure. I'll be in Myrtle Beach. Oh, sign up for the email list.
Yes, please do.
If you are not already part of it, because we send out these same stories to your email every Friday morning about 10 a.m. That happens. I can only schedule certain times, so I schedule for about 10 a.m. And there was one more thing. Oh, leave a review, please, so that we can send you one of our shirts until these are gone. So until next week, Facebook, I suppose, after all the shit I just talked about Facebook.
Because you can't buy beer with condolences. It's not a store, not a bar in town allows.
I don't like to talk over the music. As a music teacher, I try really not to. Because listening is important, but I just realized that at the end of these videos that are going out on YouTube and Twitter, we're just sitting here during this, and I'm not even realizing that people are watching me during this last part.
You know, I never thought about that either.
Yep.
Huh.
Should be doing something. Not like doing a dance or something. I should be
right. I mean,
just what do people do? They shuffle shuffle pages, right? Like
I mean, I don't-
when they go to commercial on a talk show, that talk show host leans into the guest and
Yeah.
talks to them in their ear or shuffles pages. I don't know. But anyway, we are done. So we are ending this broadcast in 3, 2, 1. More than one push. StreamYard. What are you doing to me?